Morning everybody, it's Patrick with Gill's Motorworks. This is going to be part 3 of the killer dowel pin, kind of like the front cover replacement, and I'm going to be doing the water pump, the thermostat. Oh, what else is there? Probably new belt. I don't know, there's more, but we'll go into it. So anyways, I did figure this out finally. When you're taking the front main seal out, sits in there like this, you hit it out and down with the front of the cover up. You don't hit it the other way. So I was trying it the other way yesterday, so I'm hoping I didn't cockamamie this and it's going to need a sleeve. I felt the crank. I don't think it's going to need a sleeve to go with this. We're just going to play that by ear though and go from there. I'm waiting for the tool to come into Amazon today that allows me to put this back in there. And what I'm going to do when I get the tools, I'm going to take, there's the depth gauge part that goes in there, I'll show you, and then there's the tool you put in there, smack it in there nice and flat. I'm just going to make sure this is clean, no wetness, and probably paint it and get her back on there. Alright. This is not by any means my best work at all, but I decided to go with high temp Mopar Chrysler Hemi orange because it is a Hemi, and I just wanted something that when I do the crank seal, if it does start leaking, I can see oil leaking. So yeah, she's gonna get dirty again. It's a diesel, but yep, when I just got my tools in from Amazon to start putting the crank seal in, I'll let this dry for about 45 minutes and then pull her down, get the crank seal in, get the new gasket on, and bolt her back up. Okay, so new seal is in. Seems pretty level to me. And the way you do this is you're going to order your front crankshaft seal. There's two different types. One you have to put red Loctite on. The one that comes with red already on it, you don't. You just got to make sure it's dry. This is your depth gauge. So you're going to take this. You place this at the bottom, and you want this as flat as possible. I just had a little piece of beveled wood. What I did is I just came over here and just kind of made this level. This is the other tool I bought. It was like 40 bucks. This is to help put it in there. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to put it in there as straight as possible. Couple things. This did not start to go in straight, but I did get it to straighten out. And then I still didn't really like it. So what I did is I think I went a little too far with it. What I just did is I went back in here and I just tapped around this until I saw a level where I liked it. Okay, the other thing is this plastic piece is a pain in the ass. This is going to sit, when you go to put this case back on, this is going to go over the crank. And that's the putting the seal in there, that part. I mean, it's pretty, like I said, basic. There's a depth gauge. There's the tool. Try to do it flat. Get it in there straight. And then just double check your work. And that's about it for that. Now I got to go over and tighten the crankcase bolts, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. So I'm back over here now. We've got the crank seal in, we've got the plate in, and a leaf just tried to fall in my oil. I know, I kind of have it outside. I wish I had it in the shop. This is probably not the smartest thing, but anyways, there's 5 timing cover bolts. One's down here. You got 2 in here. I got 1 of them so far. I think I got to go down a little bit more to get the other one. And then, believe it or not, here's 1 and here's 1. All at 18 foot-pounds. You're going to want to pull these out one at a time. Be very careful with the ones in here, because if they fall down in the oil pan, you are toast. You are now pulling your motor, or at least lifting it up to get the oil pan out. This right here I tightened, so I'm going to go one more. I'm going to show you how I'm turning the motor. You have to get the 12 valve Cummins tool, turn the engine with it. Engine turns over very easy. It just takes a lot of turning because you're dealing with gears, so there's different rotations of everything. So it's going to take a minute because this is like the biggest gear here, so it takes a second for everything to turn. So just keep turning it and checking. And these bolts, how you'll know when you get to them, they're 10 millimeter bolts. Can't miss that. So the cover bolts are 10 millimeter. All of them. I mean, this one's a 10, this is a 10, this is a 10. So you'll know when you get to them because there's bigger bolts and then these ones are 10 bolts. So, all right. So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your little. There's a little cover right up here that looks like this. I broke mine because it's an old stiff butt plug, and you can take your tool. You're just gonna stick it in there. You're gonna need a wrench. You're going. You want to go driver clockwise. Sorry, guys. You're gonna turn. You're gonna turn. You're gonna turn. Lots of turning because these are gears. I'm not even close, and I sit here and I turn and I turn. So that's how you turn the motor, by hand. So I'm gonna go back up there and check it and see where I'm at. And as you can see, I know I got this one over here, but there's supposed to be, there's a little one right there. So I need to do about probably like 8 more turns up there, that I could probably get that one out. And that's the last one I have to do. So all of them are done. I'm not gonna lie, that bolt is a tricky bolt, and yeah, that was a pain to get out, man. I had to use a very thin wall socket, got it out, I got it back in. Just be very careful. It torqued down and all that. I still don't know that I like it, but yep. So that's it. All the case bolts are tightened. I'm gonna put gasket maker and get the gasket set up and get my cover back on. Yeehaw. Hey everybody, so here we go. Again, I didn't do the best on the timing cover. I was just kind of in a hurry, not so much to get this done, but it went on fairly easy. That plastic part definitely protects the crank seal down there. I kind of had to book it because next week I'm supposed to be dropping this off at the transmission shop. I'm getting the NV4500 rebuilt and also possibly re-geared for a longer fifth, just so I can get a little bit more, 70 miles an hour out of it. I might see if he can re-gear third and fourth, but we'll see what happens there. And then also I got a hold of South Bend today, who's making a custom clutch for me, for my leg. Then that's all getting sent out. So yeah, I'm not seeing a torque sequence for these. I'm gonna treat it like any other gasket though, and I'm gonna go middle to out and just kind of go around. So 18 foot-pounds is what it calls for, so I'm gonna torque all these down to 18 foot-pounds, and then it's a matter of, I got the new water pump. I ordered a new fan clutch. Mine just looks old. I am gonna have to do the thermostat, so I'll take a video on that. Water pump, thermostat. I need to get a crank sensor. I'm gonna put a new one in there. I told you in an earlier video it's mic'd at 0.25, so I'll make sure to adjust that down to 0.25. Other than that, she should be back up and running. I'm hoping by tomorrow, which would be Wednesday or Thursday. So no further ado, I'm gonna torque everything and start putting it back together. This is probably be the last video for today, so this will be like part 3, and then there'll be a part 4, and that's gonna be covering the water pump, the thermostat housing. What else was there? I know there was something else, and probably the crank sensor, and then just getting the belt and the fan clutch back on and all that. So